Hey everybody, Ryan here with Ray's Latest, and today I'm going to talk about the vote that happened on Wednesday by the Hillsborough County Commission, and as well as kind of what the infield preview is going to look like for 2026, kind of see where we stand as of right now. But first, I want to talk about the vote that was held yesterday. So the Hillsborough County Commission voted unanimously to move forward with discussions on having this whole stadium placed on the campus of Hillsborough College. And the commissioner came out and said there have not been any formal negotiations up to this point. While significant progress has been made over the last couple of months, we have a long way to go, which is very normal. That's kind of what we expected. And but he did go on to say in his next statement, he said, unlike the previous ownership group, the team has a sense of urgency in order to meet their 2029 goal. Candidly, their goal is quite ambitious. I think this just speaks volumes to the new ownership group. And I think that we have saw with Stu over 20 plus years as the owner of the Rays, it was just every single time that they brought up, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, it was kind of just one step forward, one and a half steps back. We never really got anywhere with anything. And it was, oh, we're going to move out of the trop, we're going to move here. And then discussions got to just where it was computer renderings of something, and then it was like, not going to happen. This ownership group's been here for 3 months, if that. And they have just taken the bull by the horns, and they are going all in, and they are just ambitiously going after everything. And I think this speaks volumes to the future of what the Rays are going to look like under this ownership group, just solely based on the fact that we have owners now that want to get stuff done, and they want to get stuff done very quickly. And I think that having this type of ambition and this drive from a figurehead and from an ownership group, it's going to be phenomenal for the Rays' future. And I think as soon as we get the stadium done, and once we get all of the funding from that pushed towards the stadium, once that's built, I think we'll slowly start seeing an increase in cap space and an increase in volume of money that we'll be able to spend on players. And I think getting that stadium done as soon as possible in 2029 just gives that raise in the front office and the ownership group just each incremental value more money earlier years to be able to purchase more players, to be able to purchase more wins in return. And so I think that especially with commissioners and city councilmen and people like that outspokenly saying this, it's huge because it's not just we're not just seeing it. People in power are seeing it as well. And people I like to say people in power like other people in power that want to get stuff done and that don't just beat around the bush the whole time. And I think that this new ownership group is very, very determined on what they want, and they're going to get what they want. And I think that they're going to do it in a way where they're just going to do it as quickly as possible and try to leave no stone unturned and get everything done. And I think it's fantastic. He then goes on to say, says before the vote, said he is not in favor of using any money from the community investment tax for a new stadium. That would absolutely potentially impact our ability to fund all the many fire stations that we promised in our renewal and public safety elements for the sheriff. He said that the CIT funds will be needed to make the deal work. Said he's heard a lot about it from county residents. I have heard the full gamut. He said, I have heard people that say not a dime of public money should be spent per stadium. And then there are people that have said you need to do anything at all costs, at any cost to get this done. And he said, he also goes on to say that believes Major League Baseball by 2028 is going to expand by two more teams. And he believes that just for those cities to get a team, even before they break ground on a stadium, anything, it's going to be a $2 billion franchise fee to Major League Baseball is what he believes. And he's saying just for cities to front that much money before they even develop anything just kind of speaks volumes to where the game of baseball is going, and kind of the 2.3 billion price tag for a new stadium at the end of the day is kind of it's pretty comparable to what everybody else is going to do. So that makes it a little more easy on the mind for them, I believe, kind of just like, yeah, this is going to happen for everybody else, so we might as well just do it as well. And he says the fact that even before they would put a shovel in the ground, before they would even start the process of building a team, that somebody would make an outlay like that just to get Major League Baseball into their community to Major League Baseball says it on its own that there's a value to these things. So, like I just said, he believes that this is very 2.3 billion is nothing too crazy if teams are shoveling out that much money just to get the team in the door. So I think from that perspective, I think it's going to start leading to more people be more confident in the ability to use these tourism dollars and kind of more taxpayer funds in that nature to get this to happen because it's going to happen regardless elsewhere. And they want to keep it in the city of Tampa, and they believe that the money that it's going to bring in the city of Tampa, it's going to be comparable to Disneyland, is what they were saying with the amount of visitors that it's going to bring in per year. So this new development's going to bring in 10 million people per year. So they think it's going to be great and they think it's going to be great for the city of Tampa and the surrounding area. So I can see votes in the near future kind of being perceived and pretty, you can go on pretty quickly, in my opinion. The next thing I want to talk about is kind of the 2026 infield outlook. Recently acquired Ben Williamson is more of a utility infielder, kind of can play anywhere, great defensive upside. The hitting potential is there. He just hasn't shown it yet in his 1 year of being at a big league level. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how he can shape the bat in this Rays lineup and kind of see if he's a potential mainstay on that 26-man roster. But I'm looking at some statistics here from just kind of the potential of where we're going to see people. And I have two separate sheets here. One, I have Taylor Walls and Carson Williams splitting the shortstop playtime at 45% apiece, with Ben Williamson playing the other 10%. And then I have one with Carson Williams playing 70% at third base at shortstop, with Taylor Walls doing the remaining 30%. So what that would look like with the 45-45 split, Junior would play 95% of the time at third base. Yandy, 95% at DH, 5 at first. Aranda, just the flip, 95 at first, not 5 at DH. Lux would play 70% of the time at second. Williamson would play 30% of the time at second, 10% at short, and the other 5 at third base. And then Taylor Walls and Carson Williams would obviously split the 45%, or the other 90% rather, at 45% apiece at shortstop. And some statistics I'm seeing here as well is with the zone swing percentage and the contact percentage. So Caminero in zone swing percentage is about 36.3% with a contact rate of 75%, which is really good. Diaz, on the other hand, has a 40% in zone swing rate with an 86% contact rate with 108.6 exit velocity and a 45.9% line drive on fastball percentage. So those numbers are fantastic. Those are great numbers. Taylor Walls has a 44% end zone swing percentage with a 79% contact rate. The league average is 76.9%. With the only issue with Taylor Walls here is that the exit velocity is 100 miles an hour, which is 5 miles an hour less than the league average. That's a tremendous drop in just power and line drive speed and things of that nature. I think that's where he makes contact with the ball at times, but he's just not hitting it hard enough, which I think is very detrimental to how he kind of plays and kind of how he can shape into the lineup. But Lux has an 80% contact, 102 miles an hour, 51% fastball line drive percentage. Aranda, 35 in zone, 78 contact, 107 miles an hour exit velocity, and 58.4% fastball to line drive rate. I think these numbers kind of correlate to what we've been seeing. People who can hit the ball hard and hit the ball on a line off of fastballs with a lower swing in zone swing and miss rate succeed at a higher level. And I think that just speaks for itself, obviously, because you see people like Carson Williams, who obviously struggled last season. He's got a 63.5% contact rate, which is 14% lower than the league average. That's just not going to cut it when it comes to big league standards. And I think that the ability for him to be able to increase the contact rate to where the lower the swing and miss and to get back the ball and hit it at a higher exit velocity is going to be detrimental to his success. And I think just the sole reasoning and the sole factor, in my opinion, is just cutting down on that the whiff percentage in lowering his strikeout rate because his strikeout rate is astronomical. And I think that just the ability for him to put more bat to ball, and even if you're putting the ball in play at 80 miles an hour, it's better than not hitting the ball at all. So I think that for him, the X factor is going to be lowering that whiff rate, getting the contact percentage up, and kind of going from there with him. But you guys let me know what you guys think about this new vote for the stadium, as well as what you believe the infield should like in your look like in your opinion for 2026. And you guys have a great one.